this video, I'm going to show you 4 tools to transform your drum practice. Here we go. Picture this. You heard some groove or some fill that you liked and you decided to learn it. So what's probably the sequence of events? Grab sticks, head to the drum pad or the drum kit, and then try to muscle out the idea, but never really be able to play it effortlessly or the whole thing without mistakes. Well, maybe you could relate to that. I know I could. That used to be me, and that process just was not very effective, so my results were pretty stale. Eventually though, I was able to design a much better process that helped me to learn faster, to be more creative, and to be more fluent with my drumming. And today I want to show you how to transform your drum practice just like it did mine and for my students. My name is David. This is the Drum Corner, where we create practice steps for drum concepts. If you are interested in learning how to transform your drum practice, then keep watching. I put a guide in the description so you can easily jump to the parts that you're curious about. Alright, here we go.
What is practice? Well, simply put, practice is a process to achieve a goal, and it's based on repetition, but not just mindless repetition. Let me explain. You see, in language learning, the goal is not just about repeating a word or phrase, but it's to become fluent by listening, reading, speaking, and writing. And if you only focus on one, then the others will basically fall behind. And since music is a language, the same rules apply. You'll need a balanced practice plan that gives attention to different areas so that you can become more fluent with musical ideas. And the 4 tools that you could use to transform your practice are hear, do, think, and see. Now you can use this template for any idea or any groove, any drum fill, but in this video I'm going to use a drum fill as the main theme. It's right, left, left foot. Accent the rights, goes the 2 lefts, and be sure to stick around in the end where I'll reveal the one thing you must do every single time you practice for the most growth.
I learned to speak English by hearing my parents interact with each other and also with me. I didn't learn about nouns and parts of speech first. It was all about hearing. It was all about listening. It was all about absorbing. Well, music is no different. So rather than just running to the pads or the kit first, 1. Listen to the pattern. Listen to it isolated. Use one of those apps like Amazing Slowdowner to loop the idea, or a 4-bar section containing the idea so you can keep the pattern in your ear. 2. Listen to it in context. Listen to the starting and ending point in relation to the time. 3. Make up syllables if you have to. Ba-do, ba-dee-dee-dum. Ba-do, ba-dee-dee-dum. Think of it as beatboxing. When I say do, I'm talking about the physical act of working on an idea. This is probably one of the tools that all drummers are all too familiar with and has the most steps. Step 1, the mechanics. This involves making it small and working at the idea frame by frame without a metronome. At this stage, you're just working on allowing your brain and your body to absorb the movement. I also suggest just playing the snare if you're working on a fill and kick hat snare if you're learning a groove at this stage. Okay, so this is right, left, left foot. Then we're gonna add the metronome. Only this time, you're adding just a little piece of the idea each time. For instance, Step 2, loop it. The idea here is to loop the pattern at different lengths. Loop it 2 times. Loop it 4 times. Loop it continuously. Step 3, groove, then the idea. This is another one we know for sure. Step 4, play something you know very well, followed by the new idea that you want to learn. I'm going to just use some single strokes as is something I know very well. Step 5, take step 4 and flip it around. Play the idea, then something you know very well. Now, let's get creative with it. Step 6, improvise for 1 bar, then play the idea for 1 bar, but within the same note rate. then with a different note rate. You can go 2 bars and 2 bars, then 4 bars and 4 bars, 8 bars and 8 bars. Step 7. Take step 6, flip it around, play the idea for 1 bar, then improvise for 1 bar. Then with a different note rate. Then 2 bars and 2 bars, then 4 bars and 4 bars. You get the point. Step 8. Play it within the context of a song. Now remember, the goal is to become fluent in music. So putting the idea within a song is like going to a Spanish speaking country to become better at speaking Spanish. This involves the theory of it all, breaking down the rudiment, pattern, idea, or groove in terms of a formula. What we're talking about here is being able to read it, know the name of it, the note rate of it, and other things associated with that. Now, this is about being able to see an idea in your mind. This is mental practice.
But note that mental practice is not daydreaming. It's really an act to help you to perform whatever you want in your mind so you can do it better in reality.
I'm sure you would have noticed that at each stage I was increasing the tempo. So just be aware that the tempo jumps happen incrementally over a period of sustained practice over time. As we go deeper into the series, we'll get into the how long should I practice and how many times should I do it. But for now, the short answer is slowly, and as long as you could be consistent and remain focused. Now, earlier in this video, I mentioned that there's one thing you must do every time you practice. One thing to take you to the next level. One thing to maximize your growth. What is it? Get feedback. There are 2 highly useful feedback systems. Number 1, recordings. Record yourself. Constantly compare what you think you sound like to what you actually sound like. The recording never lies. This way you're always making adjustments in real time. Which brings me to number 2, coaching. Recording yourself also allows for someone else to give you feedback, including a teacher or a peer. So the next time you head to your practice session, make sure to use these 4 tools to transform your drum practice. Another way to connect with me is through Instagram. Here's my handle somewhere on the screen. And if this video gave you a new perspective on how to practice something, how to learn something, how to master something, then please let me know down in the comments. I'd really like to hear from you. And if you want feedback, feel free to send me a video at the email address listed below. I'll give detailed feedback to the first 5 people who reach out to me. See you next time in the Drum Corner.